All right, so we are live. I'm going to give it a few minutes for people to trickle in if they read uh, the post saying that we're going live, since this was kind of a last minute thing. Um, we've got 5 matches tonight for or on the card. The first being Danny McShain versus El Santo. We will also be seeing Bronko Nagurski versus Thesz. Rudy Dusek will be facing Gus Sonnenberg. Ed Lewis will take on Joe Stecher to determine who will face world champion Dick Shikat on the final card of the year, 4.12. And Mildred Burke has an open contract for a NBBW World's Women's Championship match. And so she will be defending, but we're not sure who she will be defending against tonight. So we will have to wait and see at the end of the card who took her up on that offer. The Ed Lewis and Joe Stecher match was put together because they are the top 2 contenders, the top 2 ranked guys after Dick Shikat in the heavyweight division. So that's the reason that they are going at it, to determine who's going to get that shot. Lewis he held that title for quite a while before being unseated by the Great Gama, and then the Great Gama held it for a while before being unseated by Dick Shikat, and Joe Stecher was the initial NWC World's Heavyweight Champion. So that is going to be a great fight, and we are going to see 2 former champions take each other on to get their chance at a title shot coming up. Give it a few more minutes just to see if anybody's going to show up. If not, I will continue, or I will start rolling on the opening fight. It does appear from what we can tell backstage that Rudy Dusek is not being accompanied by the Dusek Riot Squad, his brothers Emil, Ernie, and Joe. There have not been seen tonight, so it looks like it might be a fair fight for Gus Sonnenberg as he faces Rudy Dusek tonight. But who knows, they might show up in the future. So we will have to see if that happens, and if they do, hopefully they will respect the rules and we'll get a clean fight anyway. But they are the Duseks, and that probably won't be the case. So let's get started here with El Santo and Danny McShain. McShain is in the red corner, Santo is in the blue corner. And they both roll 6s, so it goes up a level. They're going to roll for level 2 offense here. And it is El Santo starting out on level 2 offense. And El Santo starts the match off with a slingshot senton right into Danny McShain. And that is going to daze McShain. Sends him stumbling around the ring, but cannot really put him down. And then Santo follows up with a big back body drop as McShain stumbles into El Santo. And McShain is hurt by that back body drop. And here we are seeing El Santo with an octopus hold on Danny McShain. This is applied pretty well, but Danny McShain able to work himself out of it. As Santo lets go of the octopus as he's not gaining any ground, and he hits the prone McShain with a running body attack off the ropes there. This is a choice C maneuver, so let's see how he follows this up. You could follow it up with a duck under takedown or a front chancery. McShain is 0 on both, so we'll go for the level 3, which is the duck under takedown. And this is going to work on rolls of 6 or lower. And it does not work, so McShain takes over on level 2 offense here. And Danny McShain with a figure 4 head scissors on El Santo. But Santo able to pop out. And now El Santo with another big back body drop as McShain gets up. And that's going to daze McShain. And now El Santo going to whip McShain into the turnbuckle. McShain is an A turnbuckle rating. And this is an A6. So let's look that up on our chart here. A6. As you and your opponent are tied up back in the corner, the referee orders a clean break, but your opponent takes a wild swing at your head. Luckily, you duck the shot and drive into your opponent with a powerful double leg. Roll on level 2 offense. So Danny McShain with a double leg takedown on El Santo. And McShain on level 2 with a side headlock takeover. And that's going to hurt El Santo. And now McShain tries that figure 4 head scissors once again. And he is squeezing El Santo, and that does seem to work this time. As as El Santo is dazed. McShain with a snapmare, and that's going to take El Santo over and hurt him. And allow McShain to continue the attack. McShain whipping El Santo into the ropes. And that is a 7. He is an A, so A7 into the ropes. The opponent backs you into the ropes. You both break clean to the applause of the crowd. Roll again for initiative. Highest roll takes over on level 2. So they're going to roll for initiative again. And El Santo takes this. And El Santo with multiple scoop slams on Danny McShain. He just keeps getting up, and El Santo keeps picking him up and slamming him to the ground. And that's going to leave McShain down. As El Santo nails Danny McShain with a tope de Cristo. And this is an add 1 maneuver, so we're going to add 1. And McShain is down again, but McShain is going to leave the ring. And McShain rolls a 7. So out of the ring, 7. A7. You tumble through the ropes to the floor. The opponent holds the ropes open for you to return. In a display of good sportsmanship, opponent rolls on level 2 offense. So El Santo is on level 2 here. And El Santo with a slingshot senton on Danny McShain. But this time, McShain moves out of the way and takes control. McShain with a rolling cradle on El Santo. And this is going to hurt El Santo. As McShain continues his attack with a side headlock takedown. Once again hurting El Santo. And McShain once again attempts that rolling cradle. And this time, El Santo able to get out of it, but it does manage to confuse and combobulate him. As McShain continues the attack with a hip lock. And El Santo not going over for Danny McShain. El Santo counters that and takes control of the fight. And El Santo locks McShain into an octopus hold once again. And here McShain is hurt as he is managing to reach the ropes on the octopus hold. And El Santo grabs him up again with multiple scoop slams. That is going to hurt Danny McShain as he just keeps hitting the mat hard. And El Santo going to nail him with more scoop slams as McShain is really, really feeling it now. And now, El Santo with a flying head scissors. This is the choice A maneuver. So he is going to have a choice of backing Danny McShain into the ropes, or a double leg takedown, which is going to be a level 2 move and work on rolls of 7 or less. McShain has a B ropes rating, so I think that's what we're going to see here. So McShain rolling on his ropes. It is a B2. B2. You are backed towards the ropes, but as the opponent steps towards you, you grab him in a dynamic upper body throw. You move in for a quick cover, and El Santo is rolling his pin. El Santo can't be pinned here, so we're going to roll anyway and then move it up. McShain on the attack here on level 3. And Danny McShain with an octopus leg breaker on El Santo. He's got it locked in. And so now El Santo rolling his pin again. This is a level 0 finisher, so a roll of 3 or better will kick out for El Santo. And he gets it as Danny McShain continues to pummel the downed El Santo. And McShain with some turnbuckle slams, and that's going to hurt El Santo. And now McShain, a kick to the midsection. This is a choice C maneuver. Duck under takedown, or a front chancery. We're going to go for the power move, which is going to be the front chancery. That is going to work on rolls of 7 or less for Danny McShain. And that does indeed work. So El Santo rolling on level 2 defense here. And he is dazed in the front chancery. As now, a front facelock strangle by Danny McShain is easily slipped out of by El Santo. And El Santo with a running body attack. This is a choice C maneuver. So we are going to see a duck under takedown from El Santo. Work on 6 or less. And that does work. So El Santo, a duck under takedown on Danny McShain. He's rolling on level 3 here. And McShain is rolling his pin as the duck under takedown takes him down. And El Santo is quick to cover. He needs a 5 or better to kick out. And he is able to get it. So now El Santo on the attack here. And El Santo locks him into a Boston Crab. But McShain able to crawl to the ropes. As McShain is getting up, El Santo takes him back down with a flying head scissors. And now, after the flying head scissors, he's going to back McShain into the ropes again. 7B ropes. 7B. This is the clean break, and they are going to roll again for the initiative. And this time it is Danny McShain, rolling on level 2 with a big drop kick on El Santo. That's going to drive El Santo back into the ropes. He is hurt. And Danny McShain with a side headlock takedown. But El Santo able to pop back up before McShain is even able to get back up. Showing off that quickness there. And El Santo with a back body drop on Danny McShain. And that's going to leave McShain dazed. And here we see McShain. He is arm dragged by El Santo. And McShain, once again, he's dazed. And another lucha arm drag by El Santo on Danny McShain. Except this time, McShain doesn't go over. He just lets El Santo fall to his back as he resists the arm drag. And Danny McShain with more drop kicks on El Santo. And this is going to put El Santo down. El Santo in a precarious predicament as he faces Danny McShain, who once again locks him in that octopus leg breaker. And El Santo will need a 4 or better to break the hold. And he gets it as Danny McShain continues his attack. And McShain, he's going to throw El Santo out of the ring. And that dice almost took off on us. That is a 4B out of the ring for El Santo. As the opponent barrels you into the ropes, you both fall from the ring. You shift your weight and land on top of your opponent. Your opponent is stunned. Opponent rolls count out. If there is no count out, you and the opponent roll back into the ring. Roll on level 3 offense. So El Santo has his fall blunted by Danny McShain, who takes the brunt of that. And now he's rolling count out. He needs to roll 6 or better to be able to get back into the ring. And he does. And now El Santo going to continue the attack. And El Santo going to roll up. He's not going to throw McShain out of the ring. And El Santo with a slingshot senton. Going to daze Danny McShain. And El Santo with a power move here. He's trying a battering ram on Danny McShain. But McShain does have the power, so that is not going to work. And Danny McShain going to take him down with a side headlock takedown. And that does manage to get El Santo down and hurt him. As McShain continues his attack with a rolling cradle. And El Santo once again able to pop right back up from this rolling cradle, showing off his speed and agility here. And a slingshot senton from El Santo. Manages to nail McShain again and daze him. As El Santo once again tries that battering ram. That is not going to work. And Danny McShain once again side headlock takedown. El Santo pops back up. Not gonna allow that to happen. And now El Santo with an into the turnbuckle. So he's going to back McShain into the turnbuckle here. McShain has an A turnbuckle rating and an A10. Your opponent backs out of the corner and you rush towards them. They use your momentum to deliver an overhead suplex and throw you hard across the ring. Opponent rolls on level 3 offense. So McShain makes a mistake, rushing El Santo as they break in the corner. And El Santo able to use that momentum. And now he is on level 3 offense. And El Santo going to the top rope. And McShain is a B death jump. And he rolls a B7. Let's go to the death jump chart. The opponent blasts you with a flying crossbody. Opponent rolls on level 3 offense. So El Santo very successful in his death-defying maneuver there. And now El Santo, after the crossbody, nails a Tope de Cristo. And this is an add 1. And McShain is going to eat a pin here as El Santo going for a quick cover. So he needs to roll 8 or better to kick out. And he does not, as El Santo is able to pin Danny McShain after a Tope de Cristo. Puts McShain down. And McShain had 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to add 1. That's 5. And he had 3. So that's an 8. That's a 4-star opening match. And that is actually a solid match. I am going to enter this into my record-keeping software here. So it was El Santo. Santo defeated McShain via Tope de Cristo. Info. McShain 5. Santo has 3. That is a 4-star match. There we go. And that was a solid one, folks. Hopefully all of our matches will be that decent. Our second match pits Thesz against Bronko Nagurski. Thesz in his rookie year, so is Bronko. I think this is actually Bronko Nagurski's debut match. So Both of these newcomers looking to establish themselves. I think Thesz is a 5'2". Indeed, he is. And Bronko, I believe, is the same. He is as well. So there we go. 5'2" for both of these guys. And Thesz is in the red corner. Nagurski in the blue corner. And it looks like Nagurski is going to start this match out. And Bronko Nagurski with a forearm smash on Thesz. But Thesz counters it and takes control of the match. Thesz with a double leg pickup and slam on Bronko Nagurski. And that's going to hurt Bronko. And Thesz follows up that by backing Nagurski into the turnbuckle. And Nagurski has an A turnbuckle rating, and that is an A8. The referee orders a clean break. The opponent backs off of you, and you step out of the corner. The opponent steps to the side and grabs an outside single leg takedown. Opponent rolls on level 2 offense. So Thesz with that outside single leg taking Bronko down. And here, a punch to the ribs by Thesz. And that is going to hurt Bronko Nagurski. And Thesz locks on that hammer lock. And this is a choice C maneuver. So where does he go from here with the hammer lock? He could go for a duck under or a front chancery. And neither of them are great. He is going to try that duck under takedown. That is going to work on rolls of 5 or less for Thesz. Thesz does not get it as Bronko takes control of the match. Now Bronko Nagurski with a power slam. This is a choice D maneuver. And this is either a hip lock, which is a level 2 move and will work on 8 plus or minus agility, or a crotch lift and slam, which is a 3 move and works on 8 plus or minus power. He's going to do the power move. It's going to work on 7 or better. And it does work, as Thesz is rolling on level 3 defense here. And Thesz is hurt by the crotch lift and slam. Bronko Nagurski with a Japanese arm twist. And that is going to hurt Thesz again. Wrong dice on the wrong thing. And now Bronko over the shoulder arm breaker here. And Thesz once again is hurt. And now Bronko Nagurski reapplies that Japanese arm twist. And this time, Thesz has the opportunity to counter. If he rolls a 10, 11, or 12, he will counter with the Greco-Roman backdrop. And he does not, so he is just hurt. As Bronko Nagurski continues his attack. And Nagurski with a power slam, choice D. This is 7 or better for that crotch lift slam, and he does not get it. So Thesz taking control on level 2 offense. And Thesz with a big series of drop kicks. And that is going to put Nagurski down, and Thesz is going to go for the cover. Nagurski needs a 3 or better to kick out. And Nagurski gets it. And Thesz going to continue his attack here. And Thesz with a Greco-Roman backdrop. This is a +2 finisher, so Nagurski needs a 6 or better to kick out. And he gets it. As Thesz continues to batter for Bronko. And Thesz with a release power bomb. And this is a choice D maneuver. And this is going to be the agility for Thesz. It is going to work on 7 or better. And it does work. And Bronko rolling on level 2. And Bronko Nagurski able to ride out that power bomb by punching Thesz right in the head as he picks him up. And Nagurski. He has got that over-the-shoulder arm breaker once again, trying to wrench that arm right off of Thesz. And that's going to hurt Thesz. And now a side headlock applied by Bronko Nagurski as Thesz counters the side headlock easily. And Thesz on the attack. And Thesz double leg pick up to slam here on Bronko. And that is going to daze Bronko Nagurski. And Bronko put in a side headlock of his... Thesz applies a side headlock of his own on Bronko Nagurski. And Nagurski is dazed. And now, Thesz with a rolling short arm scissors. And this is an agility move, and he does have the agility, so that is going to work. And that is going to leave Bronko Nagurski down, which is a dangerous place to be with somebody like Thesz. And Thesz with a step over toe hold face lock. That STF. Thesz going to use it, and he's going to hurt Bronko Nagurski as Nagurski's able to drape his arms over the rope. And here we see Thesz nail Bronko with some drop kicks, and that's going to put Bronko down. Bronko Nagurski does not like eating drop kicks, apparently. And Thesz with a Thesz press. This is a +2 finisher, so Nagurski needs a 7 or better to kick out. And Bronko does not get it, as Thesz is able to defeat him in a short but eventful match with a Thesz press. And let's go ahead and record that one. Defeated Nagurski via Thesz press. Feed info. It looks like Thesz has none. And it looks like Nagurski has 3. That would make that a 1.5-star match. And there we go. We are rolling along here, folks. And our next bout is going to be Rudy Dusek taking on Gus Sonnenberg. It does not appear that any of Dusek's brothers have come to the arena tonight, as he is flying solo in his fight with Gus Sonnenberg tonight. Let's set up our counters here. Sonnenberg is a 6'3", Dusek is a 6'3". Gus Sonnenberg going to be in the blue corner. Rudy Dusek in the red corner. And Rudy Dusek starts out the fight. And Dusek, face ripper on Gus Sonnenberg. He starts out dirty. This is a choice A maneuver. And Sonnenberg has -1 for both power and agility. And an A for the ropes. So he is actually going to do a roll of 6 or lower for a double leg takedown after that face ripper. And that does work. So Sonnenberg rolling on level 2 here. And Sonnenberg refuses to be taken down by Rudy Dusek. And now Gus Sonnenberg, that was a 1. I rolled it again while sliding it. And that is an arm lock on Rudy Dusek. And Dusek able to counter that one. And now Rudy Dusek with a hip lock throw. This is a power move, and that is not going to work, as Gus Sonnenberg has both the power and agility advantage here. And a 3. This is going to be an into the turnbuckle on Rudy Dusek. This is a B maneuver. And B11. That is not a very good place to be for Rudy Dusek. B11 into the turnbuckle. As you and your opponent are tied up, you back into the corner. The referee orders a clean break, but your opponent takes a wild swing at your head. You are knocked for a loop. Roll on level 3 defense. So Rudy Dusek rolling on level 3 defense. And Dusek is hurt by that punch to the head from Gus Sonnenberg. And now, Sonnenberg with a body slam. This is a choice C. He does not have any power or any agility. He is an even wrestler with those. So we are going to go for the duck under takedown that is going to work on rolls of 6 or less. And that does not work. And Rudy Dusek takes control of the fight. And now Dusek. That is a tag move, so that's not going to work. He's going to roll up on level 1. And that is an agility move, and that's not going to work. So Dusek tried for a headlock takeover, and Gus Sonnenberg counters it. Sonnenberg with a body slam. This is a choice C maneuver. He's going to try that duck under takedown again. 6 or better is what he needs. He gets it, and Dusek rolling on level 3. Dusek is hurt. Gus Sonnenberg with a Beal throw on Rudy Dusek. And that is going to leave Dusek down, but Dusek is going to roll out of the ring to take a breather. And this is a 4. Or nope, a 10. I'm only reading 1 dice for some stupid reason. Here we go, out of the ring, a 10. As you back into the ropes, the opponent shoves you out of the ring. The referee is upset with such a flagrant violation. Opponent rolls disqualification. If there is no disqualification, you regain your balance and crawl back into the ring. Opponent rolls on level 3 offense. So Sonnenberg rolling his DQ here. He's got a 5 disqualification, and he is not disqualified. So Sonnenberg going to be rolling on level 3 offense. Sonnenberg going to throw Dusek out of the ring again. And this is an 8. A 8. You tumble through the ropes to the floor. The opponent holds the ropes open for you to enter the ring in a display of good sportsmanship. Sonnenberg rolls on level 2 offense. And now Sonnenberg with a crotch ride. And that is going to hurt Rudy Dusek. And Dusek thrown across the ring with a big Beal throw from Gus Sonnenberg. And Rudy Dusek is down. And Sonnenberg locks Dusek in the leg scissors. And that is going to hurt Rudy Dusek. And now Sonnenberg once again with that leg, or with that crotch ride. But Rudy Dusek able to weasel his way out of that one. Dusek is a surprisingly good wrestler. He just chooses to use nefarious tactics. And now, Rudy Dusek with an eye gouge on Gus Sonnenberg. Talk about nefarious tactics. But Sonnenberg able to cover up before Dusek can rake his eyes. And now Sonnenberg grabs the hand and locks him in a wrist lock. And that's going to hurt Rudy Dusek. No, actually that's a level 2 move. And so that is actually a counter by Rudy Dusek. So Dusek rolling on level 2 here. Dusek with a front face lock choke. This is a choice B maneuver. So this is going to be into the turnbuckle or a quick foot sweep, which is going to work on level or rolls of 6 or better. He's going to actually throw him into the turnbuckle or back him into the turnbuckle, as it were. And B10. You are backed. Your opponent backs out of the corner and you rush towards them. They use your momentum to deliver an overhead suplex, throwing you across the ring. Opponent rolls on level 3 offense. So Dusek with that big suplex on Gus Sonnenberg. And Dusek is on level 3 offense. And Dusek with a knee drop on Gus Sonnenberg. And that's going to daze him. And now Dusek brawling punches. Going to hurt Gus Sonnenberg with those punches. And Sonnenberg nailed with a drop kick from Rudy Dusek. And that's going to put Sonnenberg down and allow Dusek to pin. Sonnenberg needs 4 or better to kick out. And he gets it. Dusek on the attack here. And Rudy Dusek throws him out of the ring. Gus Sonnenberg being tossed from the ring here. He rolls a 6. He's got a B. So B6 out of the ring. And Dusek gonna back off and allow Sonnenberg to re-enter the ring. And Dusek with a big body slam on Gus Sonnenberg. And Sonnenberg is down. And now Dusek gonna throw him out of the ring again. And a B7. And once again, after tossing him out of the ring, Dusek moves back, allows Sonnenberg to enter. And then Dusek punches him right in the mouth as he gets in the ring. And that catches Sonnenberg solidly, and Sonnenberg is hurt. And another punch to the mouth. And this time, Gus Sonnenberg blocks that one and takes control of the fight. As Gus Sonnenberg beels Rudy Dusek across the ring one more time. And now, Sonnenberg gonna go for the cover. Dusek needs 4 or better to kick out. And Dusek gets it. And Sonnenberg on the attack here. And Gus Sonnenberg with an armbar and half Nelson. And this is going to hurt Rudy Dusek. And Dusek taken down by Gus Sonnenberg with a crotch ride. And this is going to hurt Rudy Dusek once again. And now a shoulder butt to the stomach by Gus Sonnenberg as Rudy Dusek doubled over in pain there. And now, Sonnenberg with a body slam. This is a choice C maneuver. Dusek is a 0 all around. So we're going to go for the level 3 move, which is going to work on 6 or better. And that does not work. So Dusek takes control. Dusek with a front face lock choke. And then he's going to use that choke to back Sonnenberg into the turnbuckle. And Sonnenberg has a B, and so that is a B8. And this is another overhead suplex from Rudy Dusek as Sonnenberg once again tries to charge him, probably upset by that choke. And Dusek going to roll on level 3 offense. Oop. Let me re-roll this guy. That was a 4. And now, repeated blatant chokes by Rudy Dusek. 3 add 1 disqualification. So we're going to add 1 to Sonnenberg. Roll the DQ. He's got a DQ of 5. And that does it. Rudy Dusek has been disqualified for repeatedly choking Gus Sonnenberg. And the referee had seen enough of it. So let's record the results of the match. Sonnenberg. If I spell it right. Defeated Dusek with a DQ. Dusek repeatedly choked Sonnenberg. There we go. And we are going to subtract half a star for the disqualification finish. And it looks like Dusek had 1. Sonnenberg had, what did he start with? A 3. So he has 2. A 3. They had 3 fatigue there. Info. Dusek had 1. Sonnenberg 2. So that was 1.5 stars. We're going to give it 1 star because we're knocking off a half a star for the EQ finish. There we go. And here we move on to our semi-main event. That's going to see Ed Strangler Lewis battling it out with Joe Stecher. And both of these guys, former world champions. They're battling for the opportunity to face current world champion Dick Shikat in a world championship match. Ed Lewis, 3-time winner of the Wrestling Sports News Wrestler of the Year for all 3 of the years that the National Wrestling Commission has been running. 5'2", and Lewis is a 5'2". And here we go. And it looks like Joe Stecher in the blue corner is going to take things at the start. And Stecher with a crotch lift and half Nelson. This is a power maneuver. And Stecher does not have the power. So Ed Lewis able to power his way out of the crotch lift and take control of the match. And now, Ed Lewis with a grapevine and throw on Joe Stecher, and that's going to hurt Stecher. And now Lewis going to back him into the turnbuckle. Stecher has a B turnbuckle rating, and that is going to be a B9. And that is going to be the overhead suplex that Lewis uses to throw Stecher to the mat. And now Lewis on level 3. This is a dangerous, dangerous place to be with Strangler Ed Lewis. Lewis going to throw him from the ring. And he's got a B ring rating. This is a B8. Out of the ring, B8. As you back into the ropes, the opponent shoves you out of the ring. The referee is upset with such a flagrant rules violation. Opponent rolls DQ. If there is no DQ, you regain your balance and crawl back into the ring. Opponent rolls on level 3 offense. Strangler Lewis has a 4 DQ. And he is not disqualified. So Strangler Lewis rolling on level 3 here. And he locks him in the Strangler's headlock. This is a 0 finisher, but he's got 3 of them on his card. So he needs a 3 or better to kick out. He gets it. And Lewis continues the attack. And Lewis continues to hold on to that Strangler's headlock. And Joe Stecher needs a 4 or better to kick out, and he gets it. And Strangler Lewis getting frustrated, throwing him from the ring. And B8. I think that's actually the same thing we got last time. That is. So, Lewis rolling his DQ once again. He is not disqualified, and Lewis is on level 3 offense. And Lewis, once again, with that Strangler's headlock. Stecher needs a 5 or better to not submit. And it works out in his favor, but Lewis still on the attack here. And now Ed Lewis with a step over toe hold. And this is a choice F maneuver. And the agility, the power is the lower thing here. So it is going to work on 5 or better, and it's a bear hug and trip. So 5 or lower, and that does not work. And Stecher takes over. And Joe Stecher backs Ed Lewis into the turnbuckle. And Lewis rolls a 10. So we've got an A10. And this is Stecher nailing Lewis with the overhead suplex. And Stecher taking control of the fight. And Joe Stecher locks on that scissors hold on Ed Lewis. It's a +1 finisher. So Lewis is going to need a 4 or better to not submit. And he gets it. And Lewis on the attack. Stecher on the attack here, and Stecher continues to apply pressure on that scissors hold. He needs a 5 or better. He gets it. And now Joe Stecher. And Stecher with a head chancery and bar lock on Ed Lewis. And that's going to hurt Strangler Ed. And now a takedown and body ride by Joe Stecher. And Lewis once again hurt. And now Stecher tries it again. Takedown and body ride. This time Ed Lewis showing his wrestling chops. Easily able to deflect the move and take control of the fight. And Ed Lewis with a double wrist lock on Joe Stecher. And that's going to hurt him. And he's got him in that double wrist lock again. And Stecher is hurt. And now Lewis backing Stecher into the ropes. And Stecher rolls a 9. He's got a B. So B9. You and your opponent break clean. As the opponent backs up, you step towards the opponent and he grabs you with a quick fireman's carry. Opponent rolls on level 2 offense. So Lewis on level 2 here. And Lewis once again gonna back Stecher into the ropes. And Stecher 5B. And this is a clean break. And they're both gonna roll for initiative. And Ed Lewis able to get this and is rolling on level 2. And a jackknife arm scissors by Ed Lewis. And that's going to daze Joe Stecher. And Lewis with some rabbit punches. And that's going to hurt Joe Stecher. As Lewis is breaking some rules here. Now, Ed Lewis with a jackknife arm scissors on Joe Stecher, and that's going to daze Joe Stecher once again. Now Ed Lewis with a foot sweep. This is an agility maneuver, and he does not have the agility, so Stecher going to take control here. And Joe Stecher with a takedown and body ride. Once again, Ed Lewis showing that he is a very capable wrestler as he counters that and takes control of the fight. And there is a neck yoke. And that is going to hurt Joe Stecher. And he has got that double wrist lock applied again. And that is going to leave Stecher down. And as Stecher is down with Strangler Lewis, this is a dangerous place to be. As Lewis grabs him with that Strangler's headlock. He needs a 6 or better to not submit. And he does not get it as he rolls a 5. And that is going to mean that Ed Strangler Lewis is going to get a rematch. Well, not really a rematch, I guess, since he lost it to Gamma. He is going to get a title shot against champion Dick Shikat at the final card of Year 4, 4.12. That will be coming up shortly. So, Lewis, your winner. Let's go ahead and record the match here. And Lewis defeated Stecher. Defeated Strangler's headlock. Fatigue info. Lewis. He had 1. Nope, he had 2. And Stecher, he's going to get another one because he lost. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is a 3-star matchup. Not too shabby. And now, we're on to our main event, which is going to see World Women's Champion Mildred Burke. She issued an open challenge. She did not care who took her up. on the challenge. She said she has beaten all of the other women in the National Wrestling Commission, and she is right. She has beaten all of the other women in the National Wrestling Commission. However, somebody was able to take her up on the let's see here. Somebody did take her up on the open challenge here. I just gotta find the correct card here in my binder. And here we go. She was taken up by Josephine Blatt, a strong woman who is better known in the wrestling world as Minerva. Minerva started wrestling in the 1880s and was considered to be the first world champion. I believe she was actually considered the first world champion, male or female. Obviously, she was the women's world champion, but I think it was the first recognized world championship in wrestling that she held in the 1880s. And she has taken up Mildred Burke's challenge or open contract offer for a title shot. Josephine Blatt or Minerva has a 3. Mildred Burke is a 2. And Burke in the red corner. Minerva in the blue corner. Let's see how this plays out. And Mildred Burke going to get the better of Josephine Blatt in the tie-up. And now Burke with a single leg takedown on Minerva. And Minerva gonna stuff that with her stout power here. And she takes control of the fight. Minerva wants a test of strength with Mildred Burke. Burke is going to say absolutely not and boot Blatt right in the gut as they lock up for the test of strength. Now, Mildred Burke gonna back Minerva into the turnbuckle, and this may not be smart for Burke either, as Minerva has an A turnbuckle rating, and an A3 is going to be not good for Mildred Burke. Your opponent backs you into the corner. As they break upon the referee's instruction, you slip behind them and deliver a devastating waist lock throw. Roll on level 3 offense. So now Minerva really on the attack here. And Minerva gonna throw Burke out of the ring, and this may be Minerva's mistake, as Burke is an A, but she rolls an 8, so that is high enough that it probably will not spell disaster for Minerva here. Out of the ring, A8. Blatt gonna back up and allow Mildred Burke to re-enter the ring, and Minerva rolling on level 2. And Minerva with a one-arm choke throw on Mildred Burke, just showing off the power. And Burke is down, and Minerva goes for the cover. Mildred Burke needs a 3 or better to kick out and keep her title, and she gets it. And now, Mildred Burke on the defensive here, as Josephine Minerva Blatt picks her up, ragdoll shake and toss. And she is just showing off her power here. This is a choice E maneuver for Josephine Blatt. And choice E. She's going to take the agility move. That's going to work on a 6 or better. And she does not get it, as Burke able to slip out. And Mildred Burke with an arm wringer on Minerva. Minerva able to pull her arm away, just using pure power here. And now Minerva with a Thumb to the eye on Mildred Burke, but Burke able to move out of the way of that attempt to poke her in the eye. And Mildred Burke with a grinding face lock. This is a choice F maneuver. Definitely going to use the agility here. And this is going to be 8 or less for the grinding face lock. And she gets it. And Minerva rolling on level 2 here. Minerva is hurt. And now Burke connects with a forearm uppercut. And that's going to hurt Minerva. And Burke locks on the hammer lock. And she's going to ride that hammer lock all the way to the canvas as Josephine Minerva Blatt is down. And now Mildred Burke looking for that alligator clutch. And she's not able to get it, but she does manage to get her into a backbreaker. And that is going to add 1. And she is hurt. Mildred Burke grabs the hammer lock again, but Minerva's ready for it this time and just pulls her out of the way. And now a one-arm choke throw by Minerva on Mildred Burke, and that's going to leave Mildred Burke hurt. And now Minerva, a crotch lift and half Nelson. And this is going to hurt Burke as well. And now a front face lock takeover by Minerva. And that's going to daze Mildred Burke. And now, once again, she tries the thumb to the eye. But she cannot get to Mildred Burke in time as she sees it coming and is able to move out of the way. And Mildred Burke grabs Minerva and takes her over with a suplex. And that is going to put Blatt down, and Mildred Burke moves in for a quick pin. 5 or more to kick out. And she gets it as she rolls a 7. And now, Mildred Burke on the attack. Still looking for that alligator clutch. Still can't get it. But once again, she gets that backbreaker, adding 1. And Minerva Blatt is hurt. And a nice forearm uppercut by Mildred Burke. But Minerva shakes it off like nothing and takes control of the fight. And here we see Minerva blasting Mildred Burke with a closed fist. And this is a choice F maneuver. Agility is the better thing to roll for here. And that's going to be 4 or lower. That is not going to work, as Mildred Burke able to move out of the way of that closed fist and take control of the fight. And Burke once again grabs that hammer lock, and that's going to hurt Minerva. And she once again grabs her up in the suplex and takes her over, and Minerva is hurt. Mildred Burke, arm wringer. And that's going to hurt Minerva once again. And here we see the world champion Mildred Burke. She's going to back Minerva into the ropes. Minerva has an A ropes rating and an A5. You and the opponent are clenched near the ropes. You sidestep the opponent and use a quick leg sweep or sneaky rabbit punch, depending on your wrestling style. Roll on level 2 offense. So Josephine Blatt, Minerva, rabbit punches Mildred Burke and takes control on level 2. And now Blatt grabs a stranglehold on Mildred Burke. And Burke able to break free just barely and take control of the fight. And Burke with a grinding face lock. This is a choice F maneuver. And let's see what that is. Definitely going to want the agility. That's a +2. So it's going to be 8 or less for a single leg takedown. And she gets it with that single leg. And that is a level 2 maneuver. So Minerva rolling on level 2. And Minerva not able to be taken down by Mildred Burke as Minerva counters it. Minerva with a crotch lift and half Nelson on Mildred Burke. And the champion is hurt. Now, Minerva backing Mildred Burke into the ropes. And an A9 into the ropes. A9. Minerva with a quick fireman's carry. And Minerva gonna back her back into the ropes. And this is a 7. A7. This is a roll for initiative as they both break clean. And it's tied. So the winner will take over on level 3 offense. And the winner is Mildred Burke. So Burke rolling on level 3 here. Burke with a full Nelson on Minerva. And Minerva's hurt. And Burke gonna back Minerva into the ropes. And Minerva rolls a 10. 10A. And that is Burke with a fireman's carry on Minerva as she continues the assault. And now Burke with an arm wringer. And that's going to bring Minerva down to the mat as Burke looks for that alligator clutch again. And once again, she does not get it, but she does get the backbreaker, which is a +1. And she has hurt Minerva. And once again, she grabs that hammerlock. This time she can't take Minerva to the mat, but it does hurt her. And she's going to back her into the ropes again. And this is a 5. So we get A5 here. You and the opponent are clenched near the ropes. You sidestep the opponent and use a quick, sneaky rabbit punch. And roll on level 2 offense. So here we go. Closed fist. This is a choice F. Agility is -2. So 4 or better for that closed fist by Minerva. She does not get it. Mildred Burke takes over. And Burke with a forearm uppercut. And that's going to put Minerva down. Minerva is down. Mildred Burke looking for something big here. And she's going to roll up. She's not going to toss Minerva out of the ring. An arm wringer from Mildred Burke, and Minerva is down again. And now a jumping knee. Let's see here. 10 or better for the jumping knee. And she gets it. And Minerva rolling on level 3. And she is hurt as Mildred Burke continues her attack. Arm wringer once again, but Minerva pulls her arm out, completely changing the flow of the match. Minerva gonna back Mildred Burke into the ropes. And Burke 3A. You are back towards the ropes, but as the opponent steps towards you, you grab him in a dynamic upper body throw. You move in for the quick cover. Opponent rolls pin. So Minerva rolling her pin. She's got to roll 8 or better to kick out here. And she gets it, surprisingly. Minerva still in this one. Mildred Burke on level 3 now, continuing the attack. And now Mildred Burke locks on that full Nelson. Will this be enough? Center of the ring. Minerva's got to break free with a roll of 9 or better. And she does not. And your winner, and still world's women's champion, is Mildred Burke. So Mildred Burke is the winner here. She retains her title against Minerva. fill this in. Minerva. Silly thing there. And Mildred Burke. So Burke defeated Minerva via full Nelson. And let's see what the fatigue is like. And it looks like Burke has won. And it looks like Minerva, it's going to be one more. It looks like Minerva has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is a 3.5 star, plus I'm going to give it a half star because it was a title match. So that was a 4-star bout to close out our card. Too shabby. And that's going to do it for us for the evening. Thank you for joining us or for watching on demand. I will be back. I think I'm going to do another one tomorrow to finish up the year. I keep saying that and then I don't do them the next day. But I think for sure I'm going to do one tomorrow. Just because I want to get this over with. I don't even care if nobody showed up for this one, and I still rolled it and had a good time. So I'm going to do it tomorrow, even if nobody shows up. Just to get done with year 4 and move on and get some new cards in. It was cool that the Minerva card came with PDF Prime. This year she was a bonus card. And so it was nice because she debuted in like the 1880s. So she's instantly usable for me. So I threw her into the mix. She's making her debut here. You know, and I thought that would be a cool little thing. Definitely, she's somebody that you should look up if you're not that familiar with her. There's a little bit out there about her online. I gave a little bit of, you know, info. She was a traveling strong woman. She traveled with the Carney circuit. And did some wrestling on the side, was recognized as a world's wrestling champion. So, and like I said, I'm pretty sure she was the first recognized world's champion. And yeah, so that's pretty much what we've got going on for tonight. I will be back tomorrow with more Legends.